Hey everybody, how you doing? Glad to see each and every one of you, and welcome to Beatle Brad's channel. Great to have each and every one of you here today. Well, today is a fun topic. I'm going to have fun with this one. One of my viewers, Josh, trying to get your name right. Apologize for the mess up on that. He wanted to know if I had any Beatles autographs. Well, yes. So, what do you say we get started in my video and we'll talk about Beatles autographs and some other interesting things about the Beatles autographs that you may know or you may not know. So what do you say we get started? Okay. The Beatles during Beatlemania was just absolutely bedlam. I think really from the day one of 63, 62 in through there, even 62, 63, 64, before they even came to America, Beatlemania was in full force, and people wanted clothing of the Beatles. They wanted snippets of their hair. They took Ringo's necklace from around his neck. They took their watches from him. They wanted basically everything and anything they could have to do with the Beatles. They wanted autographs. I've got friends of mine who went to the Cavern Club back in 62 and all of that, and when they lived, and got autographs of the Beatles, and they were all excited, and to have an actual piece of paper where the Beatles signed is just phenomenal. So when Beatlemania hit America in 1964 in February, to be exact, when the Beatles came to America, it was just total blowout from day one, I think. And Beatlemania was alive and kicking and well. And the Beatles came out with just absolutely tons and tons of merchandise, of items, and so many things like photographs and comic books. And as you can see behind me right here, this is an original 64 Beatles wallpaper that I got, which is extremely rare because it's a one full sheet with the original tabs on the top and bottom. But this does have the autographs. But this is not a real autograph. They faked the autographs for a lot of things back on being in Beatlemania. Like this. This is also a fake. This is one of the lobby cards from Help, and this is even a fake lobby card with their autographs. But Beatle Brad just wanted it for fun, because to have all four signatures of the Beatles, when you start off collecting Beatles autographs, you got to make sure it is from a legit company. I collect other autographs and have gotten burned by buying a Van Williams Green Hornet autograph. I did get an original, yes, but I did buy a fake in the very beginning and paid a lot of money and didn't realize it. So it is a real fine line with Beatles, because everything has been forged. Either you're standing in front of Paul McCartney to get it signed, or it's a fake, or you're through the fan club, or you're through some well-known friend who's getting it for you, who can prove it, or you buy it from an auction house with a letter of authenticity. Lots of times it's fake. Like I said, this Help lobby card is fake. These, to have all four Beatles photographs, you can run in the thousands. I mean, you can pay anywhere up to $15,000 I've seen for some of the autographs for all four of them. Just outrageous. Even some of, depending on solo, like some of the John Lennon stuff and some of the George Harrison, now that they've passed away. So whatever it's signed on, if it's signed on a piece of paper, it's a little less, but if it's signed on something like a record album or a piece of artwork like John Lennon's, they could go for over $100,000 for some of those. But I'm not going to get into all of that, because it's just going to be too long of a video. But just for fun, let me show you what, other merchandising. This is one of my Beatles t-shirts. Okay, you're saying, yeah, Beatles t-shirt. Kind of fun, because on the back is the autographs. No, they're not real, but just kind of fun to show you. See, there's there's kind of the Beatles autographs on even Beatles merchandise that's being produced and made today. But back in Beatlemania and the hype of it, let me grab this. This is the excuse me while I draw a blank. The second series. I've got all of the Beatles bubblegum cards, but there's a picture of the card of the box itself. It's a picture of it before I got it changed. And here is the actual real box of the Beatles bubblegum cards. Really cool. Hope I'm showing that up right. Yeah, that's the original real box. And they forged all of these. But these are all the Beatles autographs in the Beatles bubblegum cards. So I'm kind of going somewhere with this. So, you know, there is a fake autograph that's just mass produced, and, you know, you may see them on eBay and you say, oh, I'd like to get Paul McCartney's autograph, but it's only $10. That's not real. You know, I mean, if you got a letter of authenticity and you're going to pay maybe, let's say, you know, $5,000 or something like that, then you're talking about a real thing. But I would be very hesitant of autographs on eBay anyway, just as a safety precaution, because you don't have anything to fall back on to say that that's a real autograph of George Harrison or Ringo Starr or John Lennon. You know, you do a lot better buying it from an actual company, and there are companies out there that do sell Beatles autographs, like this one. This was an original autograph signed by all four of them, but this is just a copy. So this is a copy. So, you know, we're having fun showing copies. Tons of copies. Excuse me while I kind of rearrange my setup here. I didn't do it too well. I could have done a little better. Okay, now we're going to get into some of Beatle Brad's archives, and this is down in the archives basement of Beatle Brad, down in the vault, in the deep part of the vault where I had to have my spotlight to find these in the vault in the back. But here is a Beatles autograph, which is real, and that is a Beatles autograph. This was given to my brother. My brother traveled and did a lot of things for ABC Wide World of Sports, which is an old TV show. A lot of Americans will understand the TV show and recognize and know what it is. But my brother also got to know a lot of rock people in between all of this. He traveled and met a lot of celebrities. But like I said, he did get this as a Beatles one. He bought this himself. Gave it to me for a gift. So that's really sentimental. That's really cool because it is real. And then I've shown this before, but I'm going to show it again. But this is a John Lennon. This is a real autograph of John Lennon's. It's totally different than the bubblegum cards. This is a different picture than the Beatle bubblegum card. It's a different size too. Plus, there's no backing on the back of this as the Beatle bubblegum cards. My sister-in-law, let me tell you the story just real quick, because I've told this many times. My sister-in-law, at that time, I lived in Indianapolis, and my sister-in-law lived in Indianapolis as well. She married my older brother, the one that I was just talking about. And my older brother married, and the two of them got married, and all that kind of good stuff. You know, yay! Get a little sidetracked. But her family hosted a cocktail party for a bunch of big celebrities and stuff like that throughout years and all that kind of stuff. They'd have cocktail parties at their house. They knew a lot of people and could meet a lot of these celebrities. And just so happens, in 1964, the Beatles were performing at the Indianapolis State Fair, and they had the Beatles out to their house for a cocktail party and kind of, you know, hors d'oeuvres and all that kind of stuff. Really no press, really nobody around, just the four boys and Brian and a few other people that were there, and a few guests and friends. And the kids that were there, which is Terry, my sister-in-law, and the rest of the family all got autographed pictures of the Beatles. And my sister-in-law got John, George, Paul, and Ringo, and they stood there and signed each and every one of them to them. And there's like maybe 10 kids, so it wasn't like, 1,100 kids or something like that, and they're, spending the day there. So it's probably, maybe less than 10 kids. I forgot now what she told me. Lost my thoughts. So anyway, so she got all 4 of the autographs and kind of just kept them and stuck them in a drawer. She really wasn't that big of a Beatles fan. She kind of liked them, but wasn't overwhelmed with them. But she just kept them. And then years and years went on, and all of that kind of fun stuff. And like I said, she married my brother, and as a birthday gift, one year my brother and sister-in-law gave me the John Lennon one that I just showed you. Gave that to me for my birthday. She tried to find the George, and she tried to find Ringo and Paul, because they're all separate cards, and couldn't find it. But she did have this one, and like I said, and there's John's right there. You can't, it's very hard to see, sort of. But anyway, there's John's autograph, and she got that. And that was really, really cool. And that's kind of basically the only Beatles ones I've got. Now we're going to kind of go into solo and kind of some other different ones. So this is, I think that's it with the story. Yeah, so to make a long story short, did I say that she lost all the rest of them? Couldn't find them as she moved several times. And she lost the other Beatle cards. I couldn't tell you if I finished the story or not. I can get gabby about the story because it's a great, interesting story. Then I belonged to the Paul McCartney fan club. Got a lot to show, so that's why I'm talking fast. Apologize for that. I belonged to the Paul McCartney fan club for years and years and years, and this is what Paul McCartney put out. He and Linda every year would put out a set of Paul McCartney postcards, and you could send away for these postcards. These are really cool to have because these are Linda McCartney's photographs that she took herself. Majority of Linda's photography was black and white. That's the only downside I think about it. But then, yeah, she did do a lot of color, but majority of them were black and white. So I ordered a set of the Paul McCartney fan club postcards and sent one back and kind of had my dad write a letter. This is my Beatles scrapbook. Had my dad write a letter to make it sound a little more official. And then 6 months later, baby, I got this back, which is right here. Let me see if I can get that lined up, which is the Paul McCartney, same picture, but it's signed by Paul. So that's the postcard. And then there, up at top there's a picture of Paul's house in Scotland that I guess Linda took. But I haven't even shown this. This is my Beatles scrapbook. So that's kind of cool. The autograph of Paul McCartney. Definitely. Then I got this out. Show you this as well. This kind of rolled a little bit, but I gotta get this fixed actually. But this is my set of Ringo Starr autographed drumsticks. I did not get these signed. I bought these through an auction house in Las Vegas. So there's a company that was selling them. So I got that, which is really pretty cool. Very, very nice. Very limited edition that were signed, that were actually signed by Ringo. And then a very good friend of mine, who's one of my viewers as well, sent me this. And this is a beautiful addition to my collection. And just ironically, here we are talking about autographs. And he recently just sent me this, a Pete Best autograph. I do not have a Pete Best. This is my only Pete Best and my letter of authenticity. But the DJ thing is he owned a record store, so this is signed when he was at the record store. So that's kind of neat, Pete Best. And then the next one is probably one of my prized possessions, there was a bookstore in America called Borders Bookstore. Some of you may remember them or not. They had a contest going on for those of you who, at that time, George Harrison had his Chant album out. And I filled out a piece of paper and entered the contest, not realizing or thinking anything would happen. And then I got a contact letter from EMI, an angel, which is this. There's my letter of authenticity. But this is a signed, cool, very cool George Harrison and Ravi Shankar autograph of the two of them together. Let's see if I can get the glare out of there. But that's really cool to have the two of them sign this when George Harrison's album came out during that time of the Chant album. And then next we're going to go a little bit different direction. We did show all four of the Beatles. We did show some of the Beatles solo. Now we're going to kind of go off into the Beatles family. Where could I be going with the Beatles family? I had awesome seats to go see James, who is Paul McCartney's son. And I had second row seats, and I don't know why, don't know how, but I got to bring in my camera. Not phone cameras like everybody uses today. I've got an actual... Younger kids listen, because it's a real camera. And I took pictures. I just sat there and, you know, moved my lens and filters and color. I have color filters on it. And just sat here and just took pictures and went boom, 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 just taking pictures. Well, he watched me during the whole time. The first part of the half, he played the guitar. Second half, he played the piano. And second half and all of that. And then after the concert, I went backstage, got to meet him because it was a very, very small venue. It was probably maybe 200 people, maybe. It was really small. So this is my photograph that I took of Paul McCartney's son, James, and down here is my autograph, which was his album at that time, and I had him sign my CD, which I forgot to bring to show you, but there's the CD. There's a copy of my autograph and my photograph that I took. I mean, he's looking right at me because like I said, I just kept taking pictures after pictures after pictures, and he knew that I was taking pictures of him. So he went ahead and just let me, taking the record out, but this is my next one. This is really neat. Here's this one, Julian Lennon, and I met Julian at the airport. And this is actually really pretty cool copy. But there's Julian Lennon. So there's two of the Beatles' sons. So I'm kind of going that way. And then this one next is Brian Epstein's assistant, which he was kind of the assistant to helping out Brian Epstein and doing things. And you can see the name up here when I got it done. And then this was a Beatles convention that took place years and years and years ago in Atlanta, Georgia. It's canceled and it's no longer around to kind of compete with the Beatle Fest. And then also at that time I met George Harrison's sister, which is kind of rare. She doesn't really do too many appearances. And this gentleman, he has passed away since, but that's kind of neat. So I've got the two of them on one signing. All right, and then this next one is John Kohler, and he played on John Lennon's album. Here's his autograph. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's right there, and in black pen I had him do that. And I had him sign it. I've got a couple other different ones. There's Beatle, Brad, and John. How about that, huh? Yeah, fun. Randy Bachman, you know, I had him. He's got a little bit of tie-in with Ringo. I also had Ringo Starr's, one of the guys who played in Ringo's All-Star Band, and I couldn't find the signature. It's around here somewhere, and it's one of those where in the vastness of the Museum of Beatle Brad, it's around somewhere. But I've got, you know, one of the band members from when Ringo toured, and I can't find it right now. But that's kind of neat. All right, moving right along to Paul McCartney's band. This is an autograph when I met Lawrence Jubler. And he will be at this year's Beatle Fest, so I'll probably have him sign something different. But there's Lawrence Jubler autograph. I'm taking the record out just to show you that it's really here. And this is an autograph of Denny Laine from Paul McCartney's band, and this is one of Denny Laine's newest albums that was put out. And then also years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago, I went to go see this guy. Here's my record. It's my insert. I went to go see Joe English, and he does not sign autographs. Very seldom do you see autographs by Joe English. And here is Joe's autograph, and there's Joe English here, and Joe English and his band. Let me make sure I got that right, because there's somebody point out and go, no, you're wrong. No, I'm right. There's Joe English right there, which is kind of cool. So it's Joe English and his band. So I had him sign. I took my album to the concert, had him sign it. And here's another autograph I got of Joe and his band. I even have my ticket. I still have a full ticket stub. Well, it's not a stub. It's actually the whole ticket. That's kind of cool. Forgot about that. So there's some of my autographs of the Beatles. I know this is kind of a long video, but I had a bunch to show you. And to tell you the truth, I know I've got some more other autographs to show you of Beatles, but then I've got a lot of other related stuff. Like when Peter Tork died, you guys saw my autograph of the Monkees. And I've got Elvis Presley and the Moody Blues and Van Williams, and just assorted different autographs. Like up above here, got some other autographs that are right up above here. I don't think you can see any of those. James Garner, Rockford Files, and Richard Petty. But anyway, I've gone on way too long, but that is my video on collecting Beatles autographs. So I just thought I'd show that with you, and we're getting ready for Beatle Fest next weekend. So that will be really, really cool to see some of the celebrities that'll be there during the Beatle period, and I'll get some more autographs. Be doing live video, well, not live, but I'll be doing some video there at the fest as well to show you a lot of cool stuff. All right, so there's my video on Beatles autographs and solo Beatles. I kind of squeezed in a little bit more of the solo stuff and solo picture of Beatles. Not too many. Like I said, I just had that one with all four of them. But I hope you enjoyed my video on Beatles autographs and solo Beatles. And subscribe to my channel. Be a new viewer and be a part of the Beatle Brad family like a lot of people are. And I'm really enjoying. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And those of you that have been my longtime subscribers, thank you very much. I thoroughly enjoy just chatting with you and talking and doing all kinds of crazy good stuff. But it's fun to show my collection to you, and I've got tons more to go. We've got lots more to go. Yes, there's some back videos that you can watch, but I've got a lot more stuff coming up just for you. So, as I say on my channel, I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. Good to see you.